All right, that shit was like loud as hell. I always, every time I bring him in the chat, I always like mute my computer.
Freaking Craig.
Yo, Craig. He's
Right.
gonna show us some Craigslist options. All right. All right. So yeah. So we're gonna kick off this episode, which is episode 2 of A Dose of Animation. I'm gonna be doing this podcast with a friend. His name is Jerry, and he's someone that's just as into animation as I am. So that's why I'm having people like him and others join the podcast. But for now, it's gonna be me and him. We're gonna be talking about this topic that I came up with over the weekend that I've been thinking about. Is called nostalgia and animation, and like how it affects our preferences. So, what the hell? What the hell was that? That was my camera's disconnected. But yeah, man, how you been? We don't really meet up much, but
I'm just chilling. I'm just
how's work?
I've just been enjoying life
Really?
and furry anime.
furry anime. The
Yeah.
Did you ever look up the one that I told you? It was by Studio Trigger.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know. I don't know why I don't remember the name, but I really love the art style. You might like it. It's kind of animal-y ish, but I'll probably check it out. It's on Netflix, so I don't know if you have Netflix. Do you?
Nope, not really.
Yeah, I'll give you my subscription if you want it, because I don't really care.
Oh wait, I do have Netflix actually. Now that I think about it.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's where I watched the other show. Wait, I don't even know why I said I didn't have Netflix. I think I'm just dazing out.
Oh yeah, that's all good. Hold on, let me lock my door real quick. All right. So I'm gonna talk about a little bit about what influenced my decision to think of this topic and think about making an episode on it. To be honest, isn't really one thing that influenced my decision. I've been kind of thinking about this ever since I got into animation, which was kind of around the time that you and I started talking a lot more. I was into animation a little bit before that, like I want to say sophomore year to like early junior year. That's when I really started getting animation, and then I found you, and I noticed that you were like we had like similar interests. So,
I got you.
Yeah, but the only reason why I came up with this topic is because I used to talk to other people who weren't into animation, and I noticed that a lot of them, they always say, like, whenever they talk about animation, they think about older shows. So like it kind of makes me think like, I see, like they talk about stuff that they're already familiar with, like from their past. I don't know if you've had that same experience talking with people, but like the people at that time, they were kind of like that. So I realized, dang, like, because I was more up to date on stuff, and I didn't only watch animation. I also followed creators too, like animators and stuff like that. And
But
yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you here. I actually just I don't know. I know a creator, right?
yeah, it's
But
fine.
I don't know the name of the creator, nor do like I follow them, but I know their style, and when I see their style, I can tell who it is, but without knowing their name, I should say.
I mean, that's fine. I don't know every single one either. Like I'm the same way. Like if I look at like the style or something, I can kind of get an idea. But I follow some creators, but I don't follow every single one like that's up to date or even from the past. But I do follow some because I was interested in actually doing animation. That's the only reason why I followed so many creators. I was actually interested in doing that kind of stuff. So
aren't you still interested?
I am, but I'm kind of focusing a little bit on other stuff. But like I kind of want to do it in the future, if I have the opportunity. But yeah, man. So I don't know. So you were like the only one that I mostly talked about with animation with. But what is your? Do you notice that a lot of people always kind of look back in the past? And I noticed that when they talk about shows in the past, they usually like kind of denounce shows now, even anime too. It's not really just Western stuff, but anime too. they always say like that the stuff now isn't as good as it was before. But
I mean, I'll tell you right now. You go out there and ask anybody who likes anime or anything like that. If you ask them if they watch anime or any kind of cartoons, typically I ask people if they watch anime because cartoons.
That's what I say anime because that's the people that watch cartoons that are younger kind of transition into anime because nobody's really telling mature stories that much in the West, and a lot of the adult cartoons are just bad words and sex jokes, which gets really old.
Yeah, I mean, I love me some Family Guy though once in a while.
Yeah. I know, me too. I like stuff like that too, but I find that Japan has kind of been more diverse lately in the animation stuff.
Yeah, America really they kind of copy each other. I mean, Japan has a lot of stereotypes in their anime as well, though.
They do. Yeah, it's stereotypical to like their culture. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but mainly all I hear is Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece. All your mainstream stuff. All your cookie cutter beginner anime.
Oh yeah, I know. I do see people talking about that too, and it's funny because even within those fandoms too, they always say like, "Oh, but the earlier episodes are better than the episodes that are coming out now," which it can be true or not depending on the show or the series itself. But I noticed that too. It's a lot of people that look back. But have you ever heard of the phrase like rose tinted glasses when you look through something with rose tinted glasses? Have you? Never.
Typically, it means like you're looking at it because, well, for example, if you were to play Sonic the Hedgehog, or no, okay, no, I'm actually gonna use a different different example. Yeah. So if you're gonna watch Sonic Sat AM, if you ever watched that, or Sonic the Hedgehog original, and you were fairly young. Imagine a couple years later you watch Sonic X, then you think the older ones are better, mainly because of the nostalgia factor they have.
Yes, that's actually kind of a perfect way to what I was thinking, which was like, yeah, that's kind of what rose tinted is, but also rose tinted is like you look at something and it's you look at it better than it actually was, and I noticed that a lot of people are like that, like a lot. They kind of like, and that's not to denounce like their interest in those things because they could be genuinely good too, but they hold it in such a high praise to the point where anything new cannot even touch what the old one is, like, or whatever old show or series or anime, whatever, like, but I don't really like understand like the holding back kind of thing because they don't really appreciate much of what's going on now, which I find weird because they like a lot of the stuff that's going on now too, but they always say that in general, like, oh, this was better back then, or like, the stories told before were much better, but it isn't that much different than it is now. A lot of this same stuff was back then. Yeah.
If you think about it, there's a recent game that came out was Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were making reviews on it just because of the story aspects of it, mainly because of the first game. First game was great. People were taking nostalgia of the first game, and they were posting bad things about the second because the story didn't really add up. Well, it does add up, but not to the same way.
It wasn't the outcome that they wanted, which I can understand. But that's a little different too, though, because there are people actually going back and looking at things objectively, and they still think that the first one is better, which is fine. That's okay, because at that point you're not really looking through rose-tinted glasses. You're actually judging it based on what it is, or like on its own merits, which is fine. But it's the thing is, I see people that to line it up with the Last of Us thing. There are people that they kind of saying like that everything was good, or like, all of it's good, but sometimes there are some things that maybe it isn't as good as it was before, and they say that to denounce maybe the sequel of whatever show or game, if you want to still tie into Last of Us too, because there's stuff that people like about that game too. I mean, the animations in that game is crazy as well. I don't know if you've seen it, but like it's just crazy, like the motion capture that they used for that. So that's a positive point for that game.
Yeah, I mean, and you
Yeah.
also gotta take a look at it like this. Nostalgia doesn't always derive from mainly the product at hand. It could also be the people who worked on it. For example, like
Mm-hmm.
some people gonna go ahead and use the Sonic thing again. Some people don't like the older actor's voice towards the newer one.
Oh yeah.
For example,
You know that's Steve Urkel's voice.
yeah,
Did you know that? I just found that out.
people
I
like
didn't know that.
people like Steve Urkel more than you know.
I didn't know he
don't know
did.
the new person, to be honest.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know he did that. I was like, what? He was obviously younger, but that's probably why I didn't know because it sounded so different. I didn't know. I didn't know he did voice acting work. I thought he was just like a live action. So that was interesting. But no, that actually that kind of goes well because since we're talking about more of the past, another thing that I was looking up and I was doing some research, and what I was seeing was that it does kind of make sense in some ways that people are like that because people do find comfort in shows that they're familiar with, or I mean any kind of media, but specifically in shows that they're familiar with, because those shows are like associated with memories that people look back on fondly, and I'm guilty of that too. I mean, there's a lot of shows that I know aren't good, but I've seen them and I watch them because, well, not that they're not good, but they're middle of the road. But I know the memories that are associated with those kind of things. So in my mind, subconsciously, I put them in a higher pedestal than they really are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, the level of familiarity is something that people like take to heart, for sure, definitely, yeah. And they don't. Another thing with those shows is that you already know what's gonna happen. So a lot of people use those kind of shows as a way to just relax because you don't have to focus on the story and focus times already. So
Hey,
you don't have to like focus on everything because I've done that too. When I'm relaxing, I'll put a show that I've already seen and just on it.
Oh, I just want to tell you, your mic it's kind of crapping out.
Oh shit! Does it sound better?
Yeah, it sounds better now.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna like reiterate that real quick, so because it was bouncing in and out. It said new audio device detected. New audio device detected. I'm like, no, it was my camera mic because I have like an external camera, like in case I do video chatting or whatever.
All right.
Yeah. So I was just basically saying like that people they like shows that they're familiar with. They use it like as ways to like relax and stuff. And so I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, do you do the same thing? Because that's kind of what I do from time to time.
Well, I think of it like this. Nostalgia's not too big for me. I mean, like I'll watch anything that's new. But
Same for me.
one pet peeve that I have is literally when they change the voice actor.
Yeah. Especially if it's drastically different. It's like, what? Hold on.
Yeah, it's very irritating. One instance of this was, well, actually, it's pretty funny. Not gonna lie, it's not irritating at all. But one instance of this is when they changed the Amazing Bullet Gumball's voice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
And
they went like through 3 different changes. Yeah, but the way they actually did it was kind of cool. Like they had the episode where they were like singing and stuff, and then they changed their voice. And then once that change happened, like it was so seamless the way they did it. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do it like that before. That was actually really awesome. I love that show.
Have you saw the episode where Darwin he's using his original voice? No, he's using like his higher pitched voice, and then Gumball tells him to like cough or something, and then he goes back to the original.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yo, the way that they transitioned was awesome. That's actually really cool though, and I don't mind the voice change. Like that's one. I mean, personally, it was kind of cool how they did that.
Yeah,
and that was a while ago, I think, because they went through 3 different. Well, if you count the pilot, that's like they went through like 4 different voice changes for both of them. I think when they first had the pilot in 2007, it was Chowder voicing Gumball at first, and
I
then they
didn't know
changed
that.
it. You didn't know that? Yeah, if you go back, it's the same person. And then when they released it, they went through a second change and a third change of 14. So yeah, they went through a lot. But yeah, just mainly the point that I was saying though was that yeah, just how people just look back on stuff and they kind of use it as a coping mechanism just to like I don't know, just to kind of push away the stuff that's going on in their life. I mean, because that's what I've been looking at reading online. Like people they use older media. I mean, it doesn't have to be animation, but it could be anything, music, like live action, whatever. But in the context of the podcast, like animation, like people use those as just to chill. I've done it too, like every now and then. I'll watch like an old anime from like the mid 2000s or uh like 2000 whatever, and I know the story already, but like I just put it down just to like enjoy it and relax because I know everything that's gonna happen. So it takes away um it takes away how do you say like it takes away like effort and thought, like putting effort into like what's gonna happen. So that's why it helps you like relax a little bit. Because looking back on those things, it's not that bad all the time. It's just people that they focus too hard into it and they get in their own head about all that stuff, and they just think so deep about it. But if it's fine if it's like just a relaxing method, because that's what I do. But yeah, I know you said that you don't think too much about it. Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, I like new things. I like when new things come out,
Yeah, me too.
especially when Sonic Boom came out. I was like, oh heck yeah!
That shit's actually kind of funny.
So
It's
hilarious. One of the like Sonic X had a mixture of anime-esque
I don't know.
storytelling.
I actually didn't like Sonic X as I got older. I was like, looking back on it, yeah, definitely it wasn't as good as I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sonic is more suited as a. I could take so Sadie M was also good, and that had action in it, and it had some pretty dark themes in it too, which was it made Sonic
Grounded.
very, I guess you could say, very grounded.
Yeah, because he wasn't always like saving everything.
Yeah, and it also was funny,
Yeah, it was it was a nice balance.
very nice balance. But
Mhm.
then you get Sonic Boom, which is mainly a comedy, and that's a lot of what's going on right now. And
Oh yeah, like slapstick and satire, or like kind of like snarky humor, which I kind of been noticing, which I'm not really a fan of.
humor.
But yeah, I mean,
It's not much action anymore. I mean, look what they did to the Powerpuff.
I wish there
Girls,
was. Yeah. Well,
Speaking
What
of
is
nostalgia,
I know, right? They did. Yeah. Actually, you just like reminded me of a perfect point. But nostalgia nowadays is a really huge selling point. Like they bring back a lot of reboots. I mean, you just named one, like the Powerpuff Girls reboot, and that was like one of the bigger ones. But it's not the same as it was before. So people they kind of get bummed out about it, and they say that it's not as good as the original and stuff. But like you have to understand, like it's a different. We're growing up in a different generation of kids that they have a little different kind of humor to it. That's why Powerpuff Girls it's just the reboot's a little different. It's tailored to the kids of the generation now. And I think that's what people don't get sometimes. They'd be like, oh, like the Teen Titans Go, for example, too. Even though that's not really a reboot, but it's more just like a sideshow of Teen Titans. But people didn't like that one either because it's like, oh, it's not as good as the 2003 one. But I mean, I don't really like it either, but I don't really care, to be honest. It's whatever to me. Like, there's some episodes that it's kind of okay. But I don't really care. I just move on and find something that I like on my own that I actually like, Like people always say that, but it's tailored to a different audience. So I don't know. What do you think of that?
I'd say they have to do what they can to make their money, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
And this generation, mainly, where they're all being protected, quote unquote, because they're not really being protected. kids are cursing a lot younger now,
I know, I see it.
but they're making our cartoons very, very kid friendly, as we can say, like
Yeah.
really kid friendly.
I noticed that I don't see as much adult jokes in cartoons like they used to be.
Yeah, like
Definitely
SpongeBob,
not.
for example. They don't do that in SpongeBob anymore.
SpongeBob, or if you want to take it even more extreme, like something like Ren and Stimpy, which is so gross. Looking back, yeah.
Ren,
What's it?
Ren and Stimpy, when it was first on Nickelodeon, it had the adult jokes, but it wasn't very, you know.
It was not appropriate.
I mean, it when it
Some
first was
stuff.
on, when it was first was on Nickelodeon, it had to be appropriate enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But right as soon as they got it on, I believe it was MTV, that's when they popped off.
It was. Oh shoot! I didn't even know that actually.
That's
They
when it
went on
was
MTV.
really inappropriate.
I know
yeah.
that I know that the creator had like a lot of like controversy within the studio and back and forth with Nickelodeon. That's probably why they went to MTV. But I can see why, because some of the stuff I seen was so questionable. Oh my god, on that show. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you don't see much of that now. Like no way, dude. It's a lot more safe now than it was before. That's for sure.
That's like the highlight of animation these days. It's safe.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. Because if you look back, but the only reason why it's like that is because it's cheaper too. Because a lot of these studios try to like cut down on money and kind of save money for a lot of other things. So it's easier to make. The cartoons nowadays is definitely more easier to make, but I will refute that by saying that animation now is more experimental than it was before. Personally, because look at a lot of the Western animation and Eastern animation. If you look at them now, there's a lot of different art styles, a lot of different types of animation too. Other than back then it really just felt like 2D and then 3D later on, like from Disney and Pixar and stuff. But I think we're seeing more diverse amount of animation now than before. But I see what you're trying to say.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you
Mhm.
if you take a look at, like, for example, that the Beastars,
Mhm.
that new,
It's like a
Netflix
mixture, right?
it's like a mixture of
Yeah.
well, I mean, if you take a look at the opening's literally live action. You never see that
Yeah.
on
Yeah, that's cool.
Japanese anime. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very interesting. We've come a long way. I don't think anybody would have took this leap in animation way back when, except for,
Nah, hell no.
I mean, there was a lot of CG, but not CG
Yeah.
done as well.
Wasn't up to par. Yeah, definitely. Like, there's a lot more, dude. You wouldn't see like that's perfect to kind of segue, like something like Beastars you would not see back then, like not as much. A lot of the shows now with the art styles that they do and the way that they look, you just wouldn't see them. Like the new Devilman, well, not new, but the Devilman that's on Netflix, like there's no animes that look like that back then. You know, it has very expressive animation and it's all out. You know, you don't really see that back then. It was also kind of choppy too and kind of plain, but only some stuff. Yeah, at least in terms of anime, that's how it kind of was.
And you can also just, you know, you can say that. I mean, I guess our technology doesn't really, you know, way back when it didn't meet any standards for what we have now.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, I don't think there's any studio here that would have went this direction with an anime, regardless. You know,
Yeah.
they most likely would have either put it in 2D. They wouldn't have made the beginning animation, what's it called? The stop motion.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, stop, like with the claymation sometimes.
Yeah, like how claymation is. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So that's another thing. Like, that's one thing I think you can't really say, like, looking back, like, oh, the animation back then was better, because I will say right now, like, objectively speaking, like, there's just way more diverse set of animation nowadays than there was before. So it's like, and I've seen people like kind of talk about that too, because my feed, like my Twitter feed and my Instagram feed, is filled with a lot of creators and a lot of animation people, and from Eastern and Western. And some people say like that the animation back then was so and so. For the majority, there was only a few daring projects back then, but most of the people, like the majority of people that's on my feed, like we all agree that it's way more different now. It's much better now, and I prefer it like that way. But there are people that sometimes they kind of just look back too much, and they like I said, they see things with rose tinted glasses that they think it's better than it actually was. And so thankfully we don't really have much people like that, at least the people that I've met in the art side, whether it was like online or in person. We don't really look back too much. It's nice to look back though, because like I said, those shows are associated with memories and stuff. So it's a nice little like coping mechanism. But there's a lot of things now too to focus on instead of just thinking of like before. You ever see like those posts on Instagram where it's like, oh, the post like about childhood, and then you see like they put all these like shows in the picture and all that.
Yeah.
And then I'll go in the comment section and people's like, oh man, like this is like good. Like, oh, they don't do it like this anymore, but they they're kind of right. They don't. They actually do it a lot more now than they ever did back then.
Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I kind of give those I give those people a little pass anyways, because like they're not like us. Like they're not like really deep into animation like that, which is fair, I guess. But it doesn't extend to only animation. It extends to like almost everything, like live action and media, music. So yeah.
You could take a look at technology and you could be nostalgic about technology. I mean,
yeah, it's fine to be nostalgic too, though. That's not bad. It's just how far it goes is that's like where it lies, the problem, because you get stuck in your own head, thinking like this and all that.
A lot of people will write off a lot of good animation or cartoons or anything just because of the fact that they're new.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, that's a good point too to make, because I do see people sometimes cross my feed like saying like, oh, like it's like newer, so like they don't say that they don't care about it outright, but they kind of give off that vibe. So it's like, oh, like, all right, well,
it's a new
they just pass on. They just kind of pass it off or brush it off, which is weird. Like it's such a weird mentality. Like I don't really understand, or they don't even give it a thought either. They don't look at the trailer or whatever, or even if they change the art style or something. I mean, that's kind of been a little bit controversial in some parts, because you've seen the Thundercats, what they did to them. They made them like, have you seen it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they made them like squishy. They made them like squishy
boys.
Yeah, they made them so
they were like
just so round.
Like if you like touch them, they would squeak.
Yeah.
But
hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna just open the door real quick.
All right.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup. It becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle. It becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot. It becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Okay. All right. I seem to had cut you off. You were gonna say something. I'm back. I'm just gonna edit out the other thing, but yeah. What were you saying?
I happened to forget. Thank you very much.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wait, what were you saying?
It was it was gonna be something about oh, I forgot.
Oh, we were talking about like the animation changes and art style changes of like certain shows, like with Thundercats especially. And I say sometimes that's pretty valid criticism, I guess. But I looked at some of the animation in that show. It's pretty damn expressive. Like, I mean, I don't like the art style, but the animation is pretty okay. Like, it's expressive in a lot of parts. But that doesn't seem to be the main gripe with some people. It's mostly the art style change, which I guess you can kind of connect to animation.
Sure.
But that's where we were. Yeah, we were talking about that. So I can see why people do get kind of frustrated, because it seems like back then a lot of the art styles were more, I don't know, angular, I guess. Like looking back, they're a lot more angular and more mature and kind of sharp. Nowadays it's more bouncy and squishy, like a lot. Like even if you go on Netflix, even if you don't focus on the major networks, like even something like Netflix, I see kind of a lot. But Netflix has a pretty damn great animation on there too. I mean, Beastar's one of them, like you named. They got some good stuff going on there. Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, but my preferences in terms of animation, they always change. You know, I don't keep them the same, or like just because I kind of lock my preferences in based on what was happened before. Like if I see a lot of changes going on in animation or different shows I like, my preferences are always molding and changing. You know, like before, I want to say like back in high school when I first met you, I was not into 3D at all. Like I didn't really care about 3D or CGI. Like I prefer like more traditional animation, which I still do today. But you know, I kind of warmed up a little bit to 3D animation and CGI because I see how good it can look, and I see why I'm starting to see a little bit more like why people like those stuff. But you know, I still keep my ties with traditional animation a lot. So, you know, I see a little bit of that when people talk about it. You there?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Sorry.
I thought we disconnected. I was like, what?
Sorry, I was checking something out.
That's fine.
What was the question that you asked? I'm sorry.
The question that it wasn't really a question. I was just explaining like the fuck. Now I was so scared that we disconnected that I'm like kind of forgot a little bit. No, I was just talking about like the animation changes, and like when I first met you, how I was more into mostly into like 2D animation, like traditional animation, but I didn't like 3D at all or any CGI. But then I kind of been warming up lately to stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. So that's just looking back in retrospect, like the changes that I've gone through in terms of what I like.
Imagine if you still had the mindset of like 2007 animation. Imagine it was during a time where CG was really big. Well,
CG's bigger now. We're still big, but go ahead.
Well, imagine trying to get every TV show CG. That's what they used to do because it was new. It was what people wanted, quote unquote. But not people didn't like it because we all know 2D animation was a lot better than CG at the time. But
yeah, more expressive.
Now it's being used correctly, and
what 2D?
No, 3D is being used correctly.
Yeah, 3D is being but like that's also my point. Like even something that I didn't like back then, such as 3D, is even that's making waves. Like now, there's a lot. Have you seen the new Ghost in the Shell on Netflix? Like that looks pretty. That looks awesome. I didn't see it, but I saw the trailer, and from the trailer, I like how it looks. Like I've even seen that too. Like animations that were prior, like back then, they were 2D, but they're kind of transitioning them to 3D now. And Ghost in the Shell is one of them. It's on Netflix. They have like a trailer. I don't think it's actually out yet. I'm not sure, but it's a 3D now. Like they made it into 3D, and I like the art style. I like the way it looks. So like it could be pulled off. And there's people that had reception to it. They were saying like, oh, like this looks ugly and this looks like not good. But you know, I like it. I like the way it looks. It's fine. I mean, it's bold. It's a bold decision to take it from 2D to 3D, and you know, I don't really have much problem with it. I'm kind of having a hard time thinking of any other situations. I know they've done it before. Like there's like a show that's gone from 2D to 3D, and a change that big doesn't sometimes it doesn't really translate well with some people or doesn't resonate well because they don't like they think they only think about how it looked before. They don't actually like see the intricacies and stuff like that of the newer animation and how it looks. They just say, "Oh, it doesn't look like this, so therefore it's objectively bad." You know what I mean? I don't really like. I don't know. I don't really understand that. I don't know if you've seen that, but I've seen that like from time to time because I go around a lot of animation boards and discussions too. So like I usually see people say that, but you know, it doesn't really make much sense to me. Yo,
Yo.
you still looking at something? I'm
Yeah.
actually trying to find some stuff too.
Oh. I was
What?
taking a look at regular show
Uh huh.
and
What
like
about it?
how the seasons, the older seasons, like really like are you can tell from the older seasons to the newer seasons,
What? Tell what?
like how much it's changed.
We're looking at season 1.
Season 1 to season 6.
Let me see. Comparison. I'm looking up comparisons.
All right.
I don't think the animation has changed too much though. I mean,
I don't
well,
think-
what do you think has changed? I'm not sure. No, you're not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Yeah. They have 8. Okay. I mean, I don't think it's gone through that much change.
Yeah, but
A little bit, but not too much. I mean, not much for people to notice. I'd say something like I don't know. I like for like something like Ben 10 or something. Like look at the 3 shows that they put out and in the new one. Like literally, they all look different. They all look different.
yeah,
Well, the first one, second one, and third one are sort of similar, but the two that came after that look really, really different. I'd say like that's a much bigger change and something that's noticeable for people to actually talk about. But I can't think of any recent examples of that. The only example I can really think of is basically that. Probably that's pretty much it. Animation's kind of just doing its own thing right now, you know, like all facets of it. Yeah.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's going
Well,
in a direction.
yeah, it's animation's changing now than it ever was, like a lot. Especially something like Beastars or even this is another one. Oh, you know, Blame. Have you seen Blame?
Blaine?
Blame. Blame.
No, I haven't actually.
Look up Blame on Google, or look at put Blame anime. Say right now, Blame anime. Look at like the either videos or look at some images too, bro. Like the way that they mix that animation. Oh my god, it's so awesome. I'm actually gonna watch it too. I didn't watch it yet. I want to.
Oh,
You see it? You see like the way it is? It's like a mixture. It's like 3D, but it has the way they move. They move in like a very 2D-ish way. Like they have like some kind of overlay, or they overlaid like a bunch of stuff to make it look that way. Look at some like videos of it if you want to, because that'll illustrate it better than in images. Yeah, and it came out 2017. I think when I was in school when I first saw the trailer, I was gonna watch it because this came out when you and I were juniors. I never actually got to watch it. I will though. I want to.
I'll tell you what
Hmm?
animation I like the most right now.
Okay, yeah. Let me know.
I watched this movie. It's called MTFZ, and they've been working on
Oh,
it for a long
Oh
time.
yeah, MTFC,
MTFZ.
MTFC.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's you think you mean MFKZ?
Oh yeah, MFK.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you watch it? I want to watch this. This has Vince Staples in it.
It's on Netflix,
Oh, Netflix, bro.
and the animation in that again.
Yeah, it's awesome. I seen the trailer. I was like, that the trailer when I saw it. Like, oh my gosh, dude! I need to watch it like now. I like the art style in the world.
Yeah.
That's
and
definitely that was a highlight for me.
if you take a look at their last project they did on it, you can definitely see the difference.
Who did it? Who
Um,
animated it?
it looks literally like a PlayStation 2 cutscene. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I should watch this. I'll probably watch it like on a day off. So I gotta work tomorrow. Blah, sucks.
Here you go. It literally looks like a PlayStation 2 cutscene.
Oh yeah. So okay. So the 2002? What? I thought this was an entirely new concept.
Nope.
Yeah.
It literally reboot this whole scene in the movie.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's completely different. It's like night and day. But I think in this case it's the opposite. I think this has a much more positive reaction than other shows because they do it in a way that's they keep it true to like how it looked before, but they also expand upon a lot of different things as well. They changed the art style, animation, and all that. Yeah, I'll check it out. I need to get more. You know what I need to do? I need to get more into. I need to get more into like mixed animation shows. Because lately I only really watch 2D as of now for now. But yeah, definitely recommend me some more if you find any.
You definitely like that 2D. Well, you can watch the Tatami Galaxy. I think.
Oh yeah. I actually seen the first episode of that one, but I never like progressed through it.
Such a fast.
Definitely. I know, because that's how the guy that directs it, like if you look at all his shows, Masaki Yuasa, like they're literally all like that. They fast-paced comedy, everybody talks fast. Like I couldn't even keep up with the first episode like when I was watching it.
Hard to keep up with the subtitles.
Yeah, even that. I was like, wait, hold on, I have to pause it. Devilman is another one that he did. The Netflix one, Devilman Crybaby.
Definitely.
I didn't watch that one either.
That one's good. I think all the Netflix original anime have been pretty good.
I think a lot of their just animation period, like Netflix knows how to like diversify their portfolio for sure. They have like so much diverse like types of shows that even mix 3D and 2D, which is, as far as I know, the only show that I know that does that is Gumball. I kind of want more shows to try and do that. They do like that show literally has everything. It has 2D, 3D, claymation, live action. Like what? That's crazy. But they did it in a way that like still looks nice. I think I kind of want to see animation do more of that. I want to see more mixed animation, and I need to get into it more too, because I'm not as much into it as other people are.
Mixed animation, it's either a hit or miss.
You think so?
Yeah, because
it's very experimental, very very experimental. If you have you heard? Hold on. I only know this show by its Japanese name. Let me see if I can know. I'm gonna look for the English name of it. Oh, have you seen Land of the Lustrous?
no,
I haven't either, but like my brother was telling me to like watch it a lot, and that isn't sort of. I believe it's mixed animation. I think so because I've seen them mix 2D and 3D together. I don't know. I don't think so, but that's still another thing that I want to watch. 3D.
Have you watched I think it's called Pop Team Epic.
Yeah, with the two girls. It's like
Yeah, absolutely hilarious show.
yeah. Oh yeah, they make a lot of references in that show.
And the animation is very, very bouncy as well.
Mhm.
And I think that's a very good example of like what people wouldn't do way back when.
Yeah,
I don't-
no, you
I don't
don't
think-
see stuff like this.
I just,
Comedy is very out there.
now, like comedy is really big in the future of everything.
Mhm.
That's what I have to say about that. It's very, very big. Comedy is very big. There's no action in comedy anymore. It's mainly comedy. It's hard to get that good balance anymore. It's usually just comedy now. But I mean,
yeah, true.
they do it very well though. And I guess it's fine as long as they do it.
Yeah, I know. I do want to see more action. I want to see more story-based shows, like story-driven.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they exist, but I don't know. I just need to see more because I see a lot of comedy that's sort of slapsticky, and a lot of comedy that just they make references and stuff, and fourth wall breaks, which, to be honest, gets old. So like I want to see more I want to see more shows that kind of balance it, like do comedy and action too with good animation. That's another thing because a story can be good, but if the animation's like subpar or like really bad, it kind of makes it hard for me to get through because I'm a visual person. You know, like I hope to see. I just hope that animation keeps diversifying itself in the future because I love what I've seen of a lot of different things, mixed animation too. If we've named a few already, so I kind of hope it keeps going in that direction.
Yeah, I mean
That's,
they've been doing very well so far, so they should continue going with doing well.
mhm.
Continue doing well with mixed animation and any kind of animation for that aspect.
Yeah, as long as they just don't overdo it.
Diversifying and being successful with the diversity.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, pretty much. I definitely want to see that for sure.
I said, empty your mind.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I want
Mhm.
to see
Shapeless.
I want to see the world thrive on good animation rather than continuously
Yeah.
the same thing
Mhm.
over and over again until it's boring.
Yeah, I want more people to like. I also want more people to give animation a chance because I don't know. It's like people they see something animated and they just think it's for kids or something. Like, man, I really want more people to get into animation because there's a lot of stuff in the animation that's very expressive and a lot of different stories that they tell. I want people to get into it more. I'm not really sure why people think of that. Oh my god. The fuck? Yo, she's a cheeseburger.
Whole
Oh man. Yeah, but I don't know. Have you seen that? I don't know. I've seen that a lot. Like people that they say like if it's animation or something is for kids. I kind of want more people to just get into animation in the future.
There's cartoons and anime and stuff like that. I mean, if
Mhm.
anyone just sits down and watch any kind of animation or show, they'll see
They'll find something to like about it. And I would think so. As long as they go in it with an open mind.
yeah, as long as if they find
Yeah.
something, they're gonna
Mhm.
like it, and it's gonna be animated. And regardless of the fact if it's live action or animated, they're gonna like it because it's something they like,
Yeah.
regardless of how it's made.
Especially if it's because there's been times where it's so like where the story's so good, it's like you don't even think about all that. You're so invested. I've seen that happen to people too. Like the people that aren't into animation, I've seen them watch a show or like shows that it's so good that they don't even get invested in it. Like I've seen people do that with Cowboy Bebop. I know someone that watched it. I was like, they were so good. I mean, not that they were so good. The story was so good that they weren't even thinking about whether it was animation or not. They were just so invested because they were so focused on just the story. And all the animation did was just add to it. Like, it expressed itself like in a way that, live action wouldn't have been as good in live action, or wouldn't have translated as well. So like, I just want more people to keep doing that because I love animation. Personally, I don't indulge myself in too much live action, even though I will do that too, like definitely in the future. But
Ah,
yeah,
live action has always been in a gray area for me.
me too. I don't know. I don't know why. I just like seeing, like when the animation, I like seeing things move in a way that I don't usually see.
I mainly think it's because animation you can do a lot more with.
Yeah, that's exactly dude. Like that's what I've been saying that for like so long. Like it's just there's just so much more. It's more expressive.
There's a lot,
You
there's a
know,
lot less limitations on, relying on people, or mainly sometimes people they have to use CG animation.
yeah, which is that's okay, I guess. But I feel like when people use CG animation, they're just trying to like reflect. They're trying to make it look like real life. Like why? Like let animation be different. Like let's. I mean that's fine because it's still animation, but they try to make it reflect like live action, real life. Which that's why I didn't like CGI before because I was so into like 2D animation and very expressive animation. So I was like, damn, like it just looks like they're trying to make it be like real life or like super realistic, which is it's okay, but I like it when animation's more daring and expressive. So I want animation to do that more. But they can do the CGI stuff as well. It's fine. I'm just personally more into the expressive stuff.
Yeah, no,
Like
I agree.
Trigger. Studio Trigger, like oh my gosh. They do like so much expressive stuff.
I'd say like just any animation studio that you can name does very good expressive stuff. Like
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli is really good at it too.
Mhm.
They have their own style
Yeah.
and everything, but it's always very good on how they do things.
Yeah, very fluid too. Freaking Hayao Miyazaki, man.
Ah,
I think
very.
I think it's supposed to come out with one more movie. I think. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah. I mean that's really all of it. Yeah. What happened?
This is probably kind of off topic, but I'm
No,
gonna
it's fine.
tell you this right now that I really want something from the Deno Coil series.
Oh, the more of it.
More of it, yes.
Man, that show's like under the radar. I don't know
Very
what.
radar.
Actually, yeah, I was surprised at how like really nice the animation looked when I first saw that show.
It reminded me of Studio Ghibli, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like the art style too. Like the art style was like unique. I didn't even see that kind of art style in like a show before, like an anime or whatever.
It's very
I kind of do. When did that came out? Like
I
let me
think
see.
2011, 2000. Hold on,
Look it up.
it was pretty old.
It was. I think it was pre 2010, like before 2010. Let me see.
It was
Deno Coil. Yeah, there you go. 2007. Yeah. You know what sucks? I never finished I still didn't finish like the last 3-4 episodes. I'm gonna get on that.
like this.
Or I might rewatch it.
Holy cow! Like, if you take a look at it, and you take a look at anime now, it's kind of hard just to think this is like an older anime. I mean, like,
I want more people to make shows like this too, though. Because drama, but it's not overly dramatic. It has like the right amount of comedy too. Because I don't know, dude. Even in the anime world, like I don't like stuff that's. I don't like comedy that's just so over the top. Like the main character is just screaming, and like that's supposed to be funny or something. Like, dude, really? It's like annoying to me.
well, what Deno Coil accomplished was these are just all. This is just a group of kids that are living their
Mhm.
life.
It was like a balance.
I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
And it holds up really well too. I mean, like if you
Mhm.
show anybody this show, they think it's a new show. I'd say that like with confidence. If you were to show anybody who didn't know about the show,
Mm-hmm.
if you showed them it, they'll think it's a new anime.
Yeah, exactly. But I can also see like why it was. I can also see how it is released in 2007. I don't know why, but it just has that vibe to it. For me, I don't know. Like I watched it, I'm like, yeah, like I can see like this. It just feels. I don't know how to explain. It just feels old, but not in a bad way. It's just you can feel like it's sort of like a product of its time a little bit, but still stands out for sure, and it still holds up well. So I'm gonna actually rewatch that. I might have to.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you take a look at that and then you take a look at Lane, which show do you think would
Lane, huh?
You know, like which
Lane,
one?
yeah, exactly. Well, also, yeah, Lane released like 1998, and also another reason why that would look older is because of the aspect ratio. It's like more of like square with the black bars.
Yeah, sure.
So, but Lane's
More
definitely Lane's the more interesting look, though. Lane has a much more interesting look than Okolo, in my opinion.
yeah,
Serial experiments, Lane. Yeah.
Lane definitely has a nice. It has a very unique style.
Surrealist. Very like that show. I need to rewatch it. I only watched part of it. Damn it. There's so much shows I have to rewatch.
I mean,
I don't watch stuff
Lane,
like I used to.
Lane was a lot different. A lot different than most animes in her time as well.
Yeah. Well, sort of, because I mean, even Evangelion was pretty surrealistic in some aspects too. Very, very wild as well. But those two animes are like, when you think of those two like shows, those are like gold standards, like even by today's standards. Because then and the other types of shows of that time too is like, you know, just standard like isekai, like fantasy type stuff and school anime, like, you know. But that's why those animes stood out at that time, because they had the shows that was surrounding it were like not even in the same level.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Man. Yeah, I mean, basically we covered everything that I think we could have possibly talked about and more. Because actually, like, I only wrote when we started talking about, I wrote notes for that, but I didn't. Everything after that, I kind of just been freestyling lately. But you know, bouncing off of you, like the notes and ideas. But that's pretty much everything, dude. This is definitely a better episode than last time, I think. Who's that supposed to be again?
She's from Denokoya. She's
the motorcycle girl.
yeah, motorcycle.
Yeah, but dude, thank you so much, man, for coming through, for sure.
Hey,
we'll do more of this for later in the future if you want. If I choose a different topic or whatever.
dang, we might have to talk about. We might have to watch and talk about Lane.
You want to do that? I'll be down for that. I'll watch it for sure.
It's definitely a weird anime that could be talked about.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, yeah. I mean, I'll let you know when I do it, and because I'm always coming up with ideas for the podcast, so some ideas take priority over others. Because I did say that I do want to talk about more broader topics too, like this one, so that people can dive into the podcast and they don't have to think about a specific show. Like I did with my first episode, I was talking about Alita, and you know, I'm gonna be doing more general, broad topics, but I will do more specific stuff too, like certain shows too, and you and I could talk about it too. Like we could both set an anime or whatever to watch, and we watch it and then we talk about it. Yeah, I'll be down to do that, man. That's a good suggestion.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man. But that pretty much wraps everything up, man. Thank you so much for coming through, for sure.
Yeah,
I'll keep in touch for you, man. If anything else.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like talking about stuff I know about.
Really? I know, me too. That's like why I made this show. But yeah, I gotta go to bed soon. It's 8:26. So yeah, we'll talk more later, man.
Yeah, you gotta work.
Thank you so much for coming through. Yeah, I gotta work tomorrow. So I'm trying to go to bed a little early. But man, all right. See you around, dude. Thanks.
Peace out, man.